in high school wrestling, you got this neck injury, right? And then that kind of brought you into the rehab-ish world and almost took you into the rehab world, as you've shared before. So with that background in rehab, what has it been like coming into Ardrey and establishing relationships with your ATs, your sports med staff? Because I have found that it could either be you're butting heads and you hate each other, or you're working together. Obviously, working together is a little bit better. So have you been able to speak the same language as them? Are you going in humbling yourself and kind of bowing down to them in terms of, make them feel good and like you? Just talk to me a little bit about that.
I think the first step, and where any coach is really trying to do it, especially at the school level, is building the process in which you need to run. So what steps do we take in moving through the direction? So when I got to Ardrey, I kind of already had a rehab installation done at my last spot. So I'm like, okay, like these are the steps that I take. So when I sat down with the athletic trainer, and really we can call it the sports med staff, but we have 1.5 full-time athletic trainers, and then we send kids out for physical therapy when they need that, when they need to go to physical therapy. But she was on her way out. I was part of the hiring process for our new one because I wanted to drive rehab so much. But really it all started with, I wanted to build relationships with who affects our kids the most.
Got it.
So if they have a physical therapist, or even if they have an outside strength coach or personal trainer, I wanted to build that relationship.
Really cool.
So I spent like a lot of my free time actually going into the physical therapy clinics that our kids go to. Which we're very good, or we're very lucky. We have 2 really, really good ones that are actually underneath the same umbrella that are within 5 minutes of us. So I'm like, okay, what kids are going to these physical therapists, and then making that connection with them. So then when I do need to send a kid to physical therapy, all I got to do is shoot a text. That parent's getting a call less than an hour later from the physical therapy clinic trying to set up an appointment for their child. And now all of a sudden the child is bought into what we're trying to do, but the parent is bought into what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Because that's that high performance model. That's that high performance culture. So I had like all of these prep plans, which is really just like body weight stuff that's up on my YouTube page that takes care of a lot of like the common injuries that we have from overuse. Like all of my basketball guys do our knee prep plan.
Perfect.
All of my volleyball girls will do a lot of some ankle, some knee, some shoulders, but really like low back. Because like low back is a true pandemic right now too, because these kids are sitting all day. And their psoases and their hip flexors are getting tight. So what can we do to counteract that? And they can do that literally watching TV or like watching a video during homework. It takes them 5 minutes to do. So dosing that correctly. But we were at a point, and we're at a point now where if a kid gets injured, no matter the severity of it, they're starting with our athletic trainer. They're not going to urgent care on a Saturday where, we think you sprained your foot, so we're going to say no physical activity and we're going to put you in a boot for 2 weeks. If I got a Division I kid who needs to play and is a major part of that, him going to urgent care isn't going to help us, because as soon as he comes back with that doctor's note, it's not going to be very positive. So having that assessment process from our athletic trainer, really sometimes we're doing that assessment process together. So this is what I'm seeing from whether it's a strength biomechanical perspective. This is what she's seeing from her athletic training background, her different movement assessments. And now we've kind of like blurred that line together. But my athletic trainer is not afraid to walk into my weight room, look at what the training session is for the specific team, or shoot me a text and say, what do you have for team lift today and where can we make adjustments? And we have enough trust in each other to say, oh, he can do single arm stuff, but like let's lay off of like anterior pressing. Okay,
Hmm.
I can make that happen pretty easily because we're very stimulus chasers. And then we're even at a point now where I take kind of like a triphasic dynamic to our rehab process, and
Fire me up. Yeah.
we're seeing that be very, very successful in that athletic training room as well as in the weight room.
Hmm.
So we know that we're going to load eccentrically and isometrically well before we put our kid back on the court or back on the field.
Hmm.
So having that process together and being able to work through it together where she comes from a sports performance based physical therapy athletic training background, and then I come from a rehab based
Yeah,
sports
yeah.
performance background, and kind of just blurring that line together and working together and just constant communication is where we see the most success.